I don't think that like the video game. Well, we're going to talk about more than just video game industry, but just in the video game industry itself, like it can't survive off of what these people think it's going to be anyway. It's just a big like hype thing that tech bro weirdos is middle class people that have enough disposable income to waste it on NFTs and crypto, but they're not financially stable enough to make that be a oh fuck whatever, like it ruins, that's like the really anxiety about it, so they need that thing to be successful. They need people to believe in crypto, believe in NFTs, believe in the metaverse, believe in generative AI. It's not really AI, it's a generative procedural software. The AI is an easy buzzword. That's why, every company is trying to rebrand things that they've already done as now using AI, because, Spotify was like the automated playlists that they make now they call AI driven. Like, no,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But it's a buzz term. They need that buzz term to take them to the moon so that they actually, either get their money back in whatever financial hole that they've dug themselves into, or really the ultimate goal of getting themselves a lot more money because they want to be Bill Gates and they're upset that they weren't there in the 70s when Steve Jobs and Wozniak made Apple and they didn't buy the stock, you know what I mean, at the time or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
I think that I hope that the huge amount of layoffs that we're going to be talking about that have already happened in this year so far, most of these people will get jobs back in the industry as when this kind of fad ends and enough people kind of yell at these executives and publishers that just want to replace jobs. I don't know. That's my hope. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think for me, like, I see AI more of as to me, it's like a tool, and it's how the tool is used, right? Like, I think yes, it is good if we can speed up certain processes. Like, let's say, I know AI has been talked about in the medical field because that's where I currently work. Being talked about, like being able to uh, go through massive sets of data so that we can see like how we can maybe cure cancer. Like that, I think yes is good, and if that can save lives. Being like, hey, if we can find the
And
cure
that's
for
no
this
different than all the
disease,
other technological advancements. But
right,
like the
right.
difference
But when it
is the stealing
when it comes to
aspect.
creative, yeah, stealing aspect or like to me, it's also a automation or a productivity thing. I always go back to this. If we're doing the capitalist system, it's been shown in the last 40 years that productivity has continued to go up. There's literally graphs you can find of it going up, but like wages and benefits and all those things have gone down. Life expectancy has gone down. COVID didn't help. Uh, People are working longer and longer. They're trying to raise the retirement age in multiple Western countries, and that's because of tools like this. My fear is like the expectations change. It's like, oh well, you can use AI to write the news article. You can use AI to make the graphics. You can
Yeah.
use the AI. We don't need to hire a graphic designer. We can just do AI and have it done in 3 hours. We can just give 5 examples to the board of trustees
Well,
who doesn't know
actually,
jack shit
to what
about
you're
like
saying,
who how this shit is making. But that's what I'm saying.
to
Is
what
with
you're
that
saying,
is
that
that
that happened. We talk. I think you mentioned audio blocks earlier, or oh no, we did that before the episode. Stock photo and stock asset sites. Those like essentially made an automated way for you and I to, and companies in general, to get assets that we might need for some sort of video production thing. You used to hire photographers to take those photos, so there's a lot less
yeah,
because
yeah.
you could just go and buy the license or whatever for the one thing you need, as opposed to hire someone. You know what I mean? And the same thing, yeah,
But
with
even
the same
now, you
with
don't even
graphic
need that. You
design
just go for
and
free.
copy and
And
all that stuff. Um,
I mean, there's been
I
logos that have come out that I've seen for companies like we just used AI, like fucking X, fucking Twitter,
yeah.
used a generative logo. You know what I mean? Like, it's just to me, my main fear is yes, maybe there'll be changes and restrictions and whatever, but I'm afraid of like the long term, like for people like us who are more creatively driven, that it's just there's becoming less and less opportunities to actually be creative in your day job if there's things that are being that like painters are
That
becoming
people,
less and less
yeah.
thing. Why send my kid to art school be a painter when people are making AI bullshit. Companies
and
only
and the
like don't
majority
care.
of people, yeah, are just like, oh, it's fine enough. It works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like, why do that? You should actually just go to these jobs or
yeah,
whatever, or
yeah,
do every office job. My thing is, yeah, I think some jobs are going to change dramatic. My thing is some jobs are going to, especially communications, service industries, and all that will change in different ways because of AI being able to either go through information, whatever. But to me, it just goes back to the expectations are going to change of like, well, now you be more productive. You should be able to go through this data quicker. You should be able to create this article quicker, or whatever your job is because of AI. It's not going to
yeah,
apply to manual labor, but to me, it's like a virtual conveyor belt. The conveyor belt changed
yeah.
how factories worked, and
Yeah.
a lot of people cut jobs because they're like, we only need 5 people to work the conveyor belt to make the cars rather than 100 people to make the car, and now we can produce 10 more cars per hour. Hell yeah, and we're
Yeah.
only still pay them
And like
$15 an hour. Okay, cool. Like, you know, what I mean, that's my fear. Is just I just
yeah.
this is
Well, that's the thing
technology's
too.
good, but it's how it's being used to just create more and more surplus
Yeah.
of things that we either don't need or just profit driven focus in a profit driven focus
Capitalism
world.
obviously is very much get the most out of the little, right? And trying to make things as efficiently as possible. That's also beyond, capitalism and economic models in general. The human psyche wants to be as efficient as possible. Like, let's just ignore the capitalism thing for a second there. Just generally being less efficient at what we're doing, like not choosing not to use a tool for the sake of whether it be pride or morals or anything that isn't like a material thing, we'll still feel like, yeah, but we could be more efficient. So there is like a hurdle as a society beyond capitalism too, of being like, okay, we're just going to like it's the thing again, video games. That line that goes around often, it's a bit of a meme, but it is true. Is I want games to have worse graphics, and to cost more money and be shorter and all this and that. It's like, yes, those are extremely less efficient and less better. Less better. What am I doing? You know what I mean? Than what we are used to. But like that is what's better for the industry. You know what I mean? I'm okay with Spider-Man 2 being a shorter game than Spider-Man 1 and taking less time. It costs more money to make, and that's the only issue about it that, that doesn't seem sustainable. But like, hey, I'm okay with a downgrade because there's a lot more at stake than, there's a lot more to benefit beyond it. I also will say, oh shit, I forgot what I was about to say. I think just generally, overall, my worry, again, you were talking about settling. We were talking about settling. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, we should just be able to do this because we're just used to it already. Um, Google sucks now, and you can't trust it. An article written by AI, we could just be used to like, how accurate is this? Well, it gets the gist of it. I'm fine with that. That settling of not being able to trust information and the internet. We already the past decade has been a misinformation, hellscape on online and just general in
Especially
Western
on
countries.
news
Yeah,
and
but just like
propaganda, of
the
course.
the
Yeah.
idea that you could read an article and not have the expectation that it's accurate. I don't even talking about like trying to spin something like a propaganda piece, but like it could just get a number wrong and you would just
And then that's it. And
that's
that's
your
all it
media
takes.
literacy. A lot of people just don't have media literacy. They're not going to be like, oh, there was this study. Oh, there was a study recently saying like, oh, whatever percentage it was over 50. Majority of workers want to go back to the office. And you read that like, oh, wow, I guess that's true. And then most people will not be like, who conducted the survey? Oh, it's this company who is an architect and construction for office buildings. Why would they want to do that study? If the
Right.
study didn't show what they wanted it to say, which is making sure that they still have business, would they publish the study? You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lack of media literacy because
But even like you said, the
still.
number. I think the AI was just pulling from like random spots to make a sentence that makes sense to us, right? But like you said, like you're talking about the numbers, right? With like let's say it says, let's talk about video game layoffs, like we're basically talking about right now, which is the number. Let's say they say that only 10 people got laid off last year, and it meant to say 100, like that, but like no one fact checked it, or like we're not thinking of it, or like, oh, I guess it's real. I know in sports, been following a lot of sports stuff. There's been a huge increase in AI generated articles just trying to get the story first to be like, Lamar Jackson signed his new deal. Here it is, and then it's just like, oh, actually these numbers are wrong because we just had an AI or someone quickly. We
It
gotta be
said
the
his
first one out there.
contract is for $3,000 for a multi-year thing. That doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense. Right,
They
right.
hit
Guess what
publish.
gets to the top? What gets to the top of Google, like you saying, is because who was there first, who got the most clicks. Oh, since this guy said it first, he's going to get the most clicks. That's been an issue with sports journalism and on Twitter, is that a guy will say, hey, he signed the deal, and then like 2 hours go by. Actually, no, he didn't. Actually, he's going with this team instead. And like people got pissed off.
But a lot of people don't see that last part. They just see the first. It's like whenever, like Twitter has the community guidelines, community notes thing, and like a big tweet will go viral that's misinformation. And hours later, after millions,
maybe days later,
tens of millions of people have seen the tweet, it gets corrected. Those people aren't seeing the correction because they saw the tweet, and the own algorithm for how Twitter works makes sure you never see a tweet you've already seen again. Listen, I'm on Twitter a lot because the way my job is, I have a lot of downtime. And granted, I've been playing RuneScape on my phone too, so that's helping me not curb my social media addiction. Back to video games. That's the only way to cure things. So I was on Twitter a lot, and like, yeah, I'll see something, and like, I'll scroll forever. I'll scroll the following until it's up to date, and then I'll go to For You, because even though a lot of people hate it, like, it generally works out for me. There's a lot of people where I'm like, why am I reading this? And I keep scrolling by, like, I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't care what your opinion is. You know what I mean? Oh, it was liked by someone that I follow. Oh, that's why it's on here, whatever. But like, I'll see like hours later, I've scrolled, maybe not read, but scrolled through so many tweets, hundreds, thousands, maybe even in a single day, and I won't see the same thing twice. I never do. So the idea of misinformation being corrected, the people that saw it will never see it again, and they probably won't care to follow up and be like, wow. Because a lot of people will just see something on local news and be like, that's just what it is. And then they're at the water cooler, they say, oh, I heard this happened. And then it could be true or not true.
Yeah. Or the thing is that now you have so much then people have taken that whole media literacy or lack of media literacy and taken it to another level of straight up anything that doesn't connect to my worldview is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That like, oh, this happened down the street. It was because these group of people did it or whatever, and then they'll become, oh, actually no, this happened. Well, that doesn't matter. It's probably lying. Like, I mean, like, just now,
yeah.
Like, it's good to be like critical of the media, but then it's also good to like actually like media literacy isn't just everything the media says is wrong. It's more of like, how are they spinning the information? How are they talking about the information?
Like obviously that study, I mentioned, is like they want it to do their interests. Also, just like talking about capitalism. It's hard to trust media, just as a blank statement, across the board, because it is so entwined with trying to make sure that they stay afloat in very trying times. I know Facebook basically lied to so many outlets saying that a pivot to video is the only way forward, which then tanked a lot of places because producing a video is that, 5-minute video takes a lot more effort than an X word article, X amount of words article. I can't say X on face value. You know what I mean? So that tanked a lot of people, and and everything is click driven, like it needs to be. It just needs to be, because there's too much competition over information. There's a lot of misinformation. I mean, you Google right now. Because we're the Sonic movie show, right? Let's Google, we're not going to actually do this, but you at home right now, go on Google and search new Sonic characters coming to Sonic movie. And I guarantee you will find pig slop articles that are mostly just a ramble of a couple paragraphs of nonsense to a tiny little blurb that says maybe Amy will be in it once because this one person thinks it would be good and he saw the movie, and that's just something like that's just a thing that exists when you Google anything related. There's so many of these
Yeah.
content mill type of articles out there.
I mean, I've literally seen jobs posted when I was looking for jobs earlier last year, where it was like I was just looking at just random communication jobs. One of the jobs came up. It was like, be a writer, and your thing is you're paid per story, but the expectation is to do 5 stories a week about. And it'll just be vague stuff like the entertainment industry, and it's just like. And like that's why you get this content cycle, because like people are just trying to get paid. Like, and I don't blame
Yeah.
them. Like, I get your money. You know what I mean? That's the only way we
Yeah.
survive in this planet, anyways, right now. So
It's not the
you know what I mean? Like, I
people
get it.
doing the jobs. It is the executives, the production companies, the outlets, whatever. The men
The
with the money
expectations
that
and
want a bottom line.